Hello again, my name is Fred Carama. I had to think about that for a moment, and welcome back to my living room. Today's topic is going to be about tongue tension. The tongue we're going to call public enemy number one, and the more we can relieve it of duty, the better we're off. The tongue is massive. It sits right on top of our hyoid bone. It's like an elephant sitting on a little mouse, all right, which are your vocal cords. So we want to relieve it of pressure. First of all, we have to understand what the tongue is actually capable of. The tongue can articulate. The tongue can create space. And the tongue can control airflow, all right? So we want to relieve it of these three duties. So very quickly, we want to relieve it of articulation by increasing activity in the jaw, the upper lip, the zygomatics, the cheek muscles, and all the way up here into the temporal muscles. We want to eliminate it as an air controller through support. We covered support a little bit in some of the previous videos. Again, support is about releasing the chest, dropping the abdomen, dropping the tailbone, floating the upper back, and widening the internal obliques. This creates our bubble so that nothing is actually imposing on the diaphragm and pushing the diaphragm up. We also want to relieve it of space by increasing lift in the sinuses, increasing lift in the neck muscles, so that the pressure of the skull is also off. So if we can achieve some of these things, we're going to be relieving a lot of pressure off of the tongue. Also, I wanted to mention, because I've been noticing that a certain activity has become very, very popular in teaching voice. People are blowing through straws, people are blowing bubbles, people are blowing into cups. And all this is supposed to alleviate or take subglottal pressure away. I'm going to encourage you to think of other ways of removing subglottal pressure. Rather than creating pressure and trying to blow air through it, maybe we should take the pressure that's creating the subglottal pressure, and then we won't have to blow air through the system. So today's topic again is the tongue, so we're trying to relieve it of pressure. So where are we going to, I'm sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit. To also tell you about how strong the tongue is, think of what a ventriloquist can do. Without any external motions, a good ventriloquist is perfectly understandable. Okay? That's all tongue. That's an incredible amount of tongue, so that they are trying to do everything externally to numb the externals so that the internals can have an incredible amount of play. We want to do the exact opposite. We want to increase external action so that internal activities can have a more released aspect. So, back to the tongue. Yes, the tongue can make consonants. It can go la 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 la. I think we can all do that. It can certainly make vowels. A lot of people are encouraged, just relax the jaw, drop the jaw, and let the tongue do all the work for you. It sounds like a good idea. However, if the tongue is moving that much, it's going to be lifting the larynx up and down. It's going to be creating all sorts of internal pressures. So what we'd like to do is reduce that pressure, and by avoiding the throat and the tongue as much as possible. So Where can one go? I think a little tiny jaw motion to help with the consonant. La, 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 na, 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 ta, 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 ma, 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 ba, 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 ba. You can understand my consonants. The tip of the tongue simply goes to a location. The jaw carries the action. In terms of the vowels, we want most of that to happen right up here with the upper lip, the cheeks, and the temporal muscles. So instead of and depressing the tongue, maybe we can go to the temporal to go o. So O is I feel a pull in my temporals with a little bit of upper lip. Ooh, I go all the way back here. Ooh, instead of ooh, oh. You can hear that that gets a lot of pressure downwards. So if I can get my zygomatics and my temporals to help me out with my vowels, and if I get my jaw to help me out with my consonants, I can relieve a lot of pressure off the tongue. Okay, so I don't want to just say, I think it's too easy to say, oh, if you don't want tongue pressure, just relax your tongue. You can't just relax an item. Something else has to take over. Singing is an activity. Articulation is an activity. So if we just say, release something and have nothing to replace it with, then we're back to square one. Okay, the tongue has to come back and do the job. Anyways, I hope some of these ideas help out this time, and we'll continue talking about all this. Again, thank you for tuning in.